Oh, sorry, I was in the middle of text me out, lad. I was bantering with him. Give me one moment. Sorry about that. How unprofessional of me. But welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV for your pre-match pump-up as Tottenham host Newcastle. Kickoff, of course, at 4:30 p.m. And this has to be the start of a redemption arc. It has to happen today. As you can see, quite a delectable panel with us today. Great work by me. That's Amir Ashmatic and also Dermot as well. I think Jacob as well is here as well. Great to see. Great to see. A great panel with us this evening. But look, we'll just get straight into it. We won't waste no time. I know how all you guys are. We're all keeping good, I hope. But look, let's start with Ashmatic and work our way back. He hasn't been here in a while. Ash, my man, how do we get our season back on track today?
We need to start taking chances ASAP. That's as simple as that. Take chances, be clinical, and like the boss said, we need to have determination. So ruthlessness, that's what we need in this game. We have a lot of the ball. We see a lot of it. We pass a lot in and around that box, but this time we just need to be clinical and make our minds up a lot earlier. And I think we'll find a lot more joy, even if it is a half chance. You never know. It might deflect, win those second balls at the back of it, and we might end up scoring like a deflection, just like how West Ham did, you know? So we might get a bit of luck, but we just need to create our own destiny. It's in our hands a lot of the time, and where we're not taking it by both hands sometimes. I think that was the frustration with Ange, with the fans, and West Ham. Let's face it, they're not good. Look how they're losing again.
Or 3-0 down to Fulham.
Exactly. So it just goes to show that game, we defeated ourselves. And for me, I can only take encouragement on the fact that, you know, we have ourselves to blame. It's in our hands. It's our destiny. So it's not like we're not able to put these chances away and make things happen. We can actually do that. And I think it's really good that Newcastle's come around so quickly that we can actually rectify these problems, in my opinion.
Look, I really do hope so. I really do hope so. Look, if the players had any sort of pride or passion or belief in what they're doing, they wouldn't allow Newcastle, who humbled us 6-1, to come up here and humble us again, also off the back of a London derby. Dermotron at the centre of that London derby, you know, look, I thought the stats sort of lied a little bit. It's 23 shots on goal, only 7 on target. But if we're being brutally honest, the only real clear-cut chance we really created was that header for Richarlison from maybe 6 yards out. I mean, how do we solve that creativity problem today?
I think we've got to be patient. We know we haven't got a Maddison. He's out. So if Lo Celso plays today, he's got to be a bit more direct, a little bit more precise with his passing, with his thinking, how he wants to set up the attacks. But actually, it's right. We've got to take our chances today. The Premier League will bite you if you don't take your chances. And we've got to be more clinical. We've got to go out there and be a bit more positive that we can make chances. And players have got to be more confident. Give me the ball. Just give me the ball. I can make something happen. And I think it's all down to being positive, wanting the ball, being pumped up, being ready to show that I am a good player. And I think once we do that, I think the rest of it sort of sorts itself out, if you know what I mean. It sort of all flows from that. So, yeah, we've got to be more determined. We've got to be more, we want the ball. I want the ball. Give me the ball. I can prove I can do this. I can prove I can set something off. And when we do get our chances, we've got to take them. We've got to punish them. Because we had enough chances in that first half, especially like against Aston Villa. We could have been 4-0 up. It's all about taking chances. And we did create that day. So it proves we can create. It proves we can create chances. We just got to take them.
Look, to a certain degree, Villa, we created a lot of clear-cut chances. West Ham, we didn't really test Fabianski, if we're being brutally honest. But look, for me, it'd be interesting to see whether Ange Postecoglou makes some changes in that forward line. I believe we're missing Harry Kane. We don't have that presence in the box, that striker that makes them runs for the wingers to be able to cross the ball too. And that's why we're seeing the wingers constantly cut back inside and passing it onto the midfielders and trying to penetrate through the middle of that defense, because we don't have that presence in the box. But look, that's my belief. People in the comments, let me know if you think I'm completely wrong on that. I'd also argue we're only seeing a 50% of what Son can offer this Tottenham team through the middle as well. And reality is he ain't scoring any more down the middle than what he would have off the wing. So maybe, there could be a call to try and back out on that wing. However, he is playing through pain, and that's if he starts today. Let's wait and see what happens there. Amir, are you expecting, what's the right word? Are you expecting us to sort of bounce back today? Are you expecting to see a reaction today?
Yeah, I think that's the exact word you're looking for there, David. I'm looking for a reaction from the whole 11 and everyone on the bench as well, if need be. I think against West Ham, we just weren't really at the races. No one had their shooting boots on. No one was taking a risk and just having a little shot from outside the box. Like Ash said, you never know, a little deflection, second ball, coming back off the keeper, rebounds, anything can happen in football. And we saw how West Ham, basically pulled one over on us, with a 2-1 win that they really didn't deserve. They weren't in the game, but they got the luck and they took their chances. Simple as that. So for me, we've got to be at the races today. Big reaction from the lads. And I don't know about you guys, but I would love to see Kulu back in the middle there with Lo Celso. More creativity there in the middle. Stick Johnson on the wing. And then, if Sonny's fit, Richie and Sonny there left and up front, and then on the left. So, that to me solves the creativity problem there in the middle.
Yeah, look, I think there will be changes in that midfield today. It'll be interesting to see maybe what way that sort of midfield shapes up. Do you bring Kulu back in there and play him in alongside Lo Celso? Sarr came off the bench against West Ham. Do you put him back in? Jacob, what would you do in that midfield? I'd make the argument that personally, I think Papamata Sarr needs to come in, because we've been hit on the counter way too often, and it's been way effective way too often in his absence. When Papamata Sarr's in there, for me, he provides an engine. He provides legs. He wants to get around. He wants to turn that ball over, and he helps turn that ball over in the opposition half. Without him, we haven't really seen that. Every time a team has counted on us, it's sort of, it's worked in their favor. Who would you play in that midfield today, Jacob?
For me, Dave, I'd probably in the midfield, honestly, Papamata Sarr was a starter for a reason. He held down that spot for a reason and looked like a surefire starter for a reason. So I know that Papamata Sarr can come in and offer, I think, what you're asking and then some. I look at it, for me personally, I like Kulusevski more in the middle than I do on the wing. I think the collateral effect of having Kulusevski pulled more inside, that puts Brennan Johnson on the right, where he's naturally more comfortable, where he actually has flourished in his career, which I think is when we scouted the kid, that's the position he was playing. So for me, I think we got to get back to what we were seeing him do well, which is playing on that right-hand side. Don't forget, when we played City, Josko Gvardiol, I know he's playing a left back, but that's a $90 million defender, and Brennan Johnson ran around him. So the kid can run, and that was on the right-hand side. So I just think that Kulusevski, all the things that he does very well, I want to see that shifted inside centrally, because he can do all those things well in there as well. So for me, the midfield, I would go Kulusevski, Bissouma, and either pick your poison between Giovanni Lo Celso, because I think he was not good. I mean, 2 good games, 1 bad game. Do we throw him back in there and say, hey, maybe he could give us something, or do we put Papa Matasar back in there? For me, I like the idea of bringing Papa Matasar back along, because I don't even know what the injury was that held him out. Was it an illness? Was it a muscle thing? I
I
don't
think
even
he a bit of a hamstring issue, I think.
coming back from national team, I remember, but I don't remember what it was. So, look, this guy started for a reason, and I think you got to put him back when he's 100% fit, and that's probably why he wasn't in the match last week starting, because he probably wasn't 100% fit yet. But also, I think there should be some sort of rotation here. This is our first real quick turnaround, and if we can barely do 60 minutes of this style, then I worry what we would look like running with the same leg. So, look, I think if Son being out, that moves a lot of dominoes around, because then you can really start shifting and playing. Are we talking Kulu as a striker, or are we going to go Brennan Johnson as that solo guy down the middle? Richarlison, these are all things that honestly can't wait to see whenever the lineup comes out, because it will answer all these questions. But for me, I guess to answer your question, long way around, Papa Matasar, Kulusevski, and Bissouma.
Do you know what? I hear you on the Kulusevski shot. I'm going to throw a sort of question back at you, and then I want to go down to Ash. I want to find out what's going on with Bissouma of late. But Jacob, my man, Kulu, I do get that he played well there against City in the first half down the middle, and I get he can't play there. But realistically, long term, is that solving a problem? Because when Maddison is back, Bentancur is back, and people like that, he ain't going to get anywhere near looking in the middle.
I just think this is a guy that we picked up his option when we didn't even have a manager. This wasn't an Ange Postecoglou signing. This is a club signing. So if we're forcing this guy upon him, he's not an Ange Postecoglou style winger. He doesn't stretch the pitch vertically. He doesn't offer that pace in behind where defenders are really going to say, "Oh, I need to keep this hip open because I'm going to have to drive this way." To me, I think he's a good player, a great young player, and he's got a great mindset and the work rate and everything. I mean, the numbers don't lie when it comes to his work rate. So I think naturally he does drift on the right-hand side, Dave. But when it comes to saying, long-term Kulusevski doesn't fit in here, fit in there, who's to say he wouldn't be a second best? Who knows when we even get Bentancur back? And we're talking about that potentially being our best option, and we haven't even gotten to see what that looks like. The Kulusevski is at least healthy; he's raring to go. I think you got to make do with what you have and not think about the long term in the Kulusevski sense, because Kulusevski, all the things he does well as a winger, he can do well in the midfield, and he has done well when he's been featured there. So I just think that Kulusevski there, you really can still get the best out of him and then some more, because as a winger on the right-hand side, you have really 2 options when you're one-on-one with your man. That's cut it inside and try and beat him, maybe take a shot or cross it, or go to the byline and try and beat him with the cross or go around him. And when you present Kulusevski with those 2 options, we know what he tends to do about 80 to 90% of the time. So in that midfield, you can get this unpredictability about him that I think plays into his hands as well, as far as what we can get from him.
Look, I agree with you on the right-hand wing in terms of Kulu wanted to cut in all the time. But for me, I do believe that's because we don't have that presence. When we had Harry Kane in the box, he wasn't so predictable. He wasn't doing that all the time. He was going on the outside and looking to cross that ball. But I think that, me personally, the reason why I think Brennan Johnson and Kulu are showing the same instincts on either wing, people said the same about Gill last week, is because if they go on the outside of the man, that means they have to put the ball in the box. They need someone in there to make that run. And I just don't feel like anyone's doing that at the minute. But I do hear your point on that for sure. Ashmatic, down to you, my man. When it comes to Bissouma, he hasn't hit the heights he started off the season with. And what I mean by that is lately, and I sort of, in a way, blame us not having that killer instinct in the first half on him a little bit, because in that team, he is that tempo setter. Now, at the start of the season, he was constantly getting balls into the forward areas, getting on the ball, driving at players, beating them, looking to do 1-2s and advance and stuff like that. Against West Ham, he was just happy to get on the ball, walk off to Lo Celso, 2 little 5-yard passes between them, take it off him, go to the next guy, do the same. And I've seen him do that a few games on the trot now. And even if you go back to Liverpool, he started slowing the game down in that midfield. He was hauled off. We brought on Højbjerg, one big forward ball by Højbjerg, ball into the box. We ended up going on and sort of winning that game. What's going on with Bissouma at the minute? Because he's just not the same player or hitting the same form that he started off the season with.
I personally think perception is everything in football, and how you perceive players and how you perceive a team is definitely like down to the individual. I will agree that Bissouma has dropped off from where he started off, because that 2-man of the match performances, I've just never seen anything like it. And we were comparing him to the best fielder in the league. And so I do understand a lot of fans' frustration when he's not providing that week in, week out. I think since he's come back, I feel like his performance has been gradually improving. The first one when he came back, I don't think it was good. Against West Ham, I think he improved slightly, especially in the first half. I think the first half he did provide more, like he was showing for the ball a lot more, did want it, was further forward on that pitch. And yeah, you're right, he was doing a lot of short passes. We want to see a little bit more from him. I did see him get into the box, do a little Cruyff turn, tried to shoot, was blocked, one shot went over. So he was trying to get involved. I just felt in the second half, he kind of disappeared a little bit when you needed a player to step up a little bit more. And for me, with Bissouma, it's a thing where when you want a player to grab the game by the scruff of the neck, is that what we're asking for from a fan's point of view? Do you want Bissouma to actually just say, look, give me the ball, I'm going to make it happen? And
a bit like what he was doing at the start of the season, Ash. If the passes weren't done, he was going and making things happen himself. I feel like he's lost that.
It's a thing where, like, we want him to get that ball, drive with it, carry that ball, maybe take 1 or 2 players on, and then find that killer pass. And we forget sometimes his job is to stop that counter-attack at times as well. So he's got more than one job to do. He's got a lot of things to consider. He is playing with Højbjerg. Højbjerg has got a job to do as well alongside him. I know it's like we're talking about Bissouma, but you want a competent midfielder alongside you. Although that I think Højbjerg didn't have a bad first half either. But it's just that I felt like West Ham grew into the game as we didn't take our chances. And so then it reflected bad on the other players, because we're like, guys, what are you doing? Like, but West Ham were really good at being compact, sitting back, frustrating us. And then we were doing slow. It seemed like we were slowing the game down, doing short passes. But in fact, we were trying to find a way to break them down. Sometimes we're on the outside, sometimes we tried to play through. It didn't matter. They dropped deep into that box, and we just couldn't find a way through. And so it is annoying from our point of view as a fan that players like Bissouma can't weave in and weave out and drop a shoulder and make things happen. And for me, it's about the team. We just got to move the ball a lot quicker, especially if teams are trying to do a low block. When they have the ball, that's the time when we need to be like boom, 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 3-4 passes in behind, get that cross in, cutbacks. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's those things where we're doing a little bit too slow or not being decisive. And that, going back to what Jacob was saying about Kulusevski on the wide, sometimes when he's central, I felt like he's making that decision a little bit more quicker because he can see more of the pitch. Yeah. When he's on the wing, taking one touch too many, or he's passing too slow, if that makes sense. And the same with Johnson. We just need that pass, that cut back quicker. We need a ball across the box a lot quicker, catch them out of their shape, off guard. And that's when we can defeat teams. Do you know what I mean? It's that phase where that transition, we're a little bit slow on. And sometimes as well, a long ball over the top, like into someone like if Sonny's there. Sonny was on a lot of the time, but we're not passing it quick enough. And in that run where, Sonny wants it on the shoulder, Sonny wants to run between the lines, Sonny wants it in between the centre half and the fullback, and he's going to have the most joy. But if you're not giving him that type of ball, then you're basically killing this whole game, if that makes sense. That's what I feel.
No, look, I understand what you're saying. And look, I want to be clear. The only reason why I asked that question is Bissouma is because Højbjerg and Lo Celso can't get to them levels, and I have no faith they can. Whereas I've actually seen it from Bissouma. So that's why I asked the question on how we get him back there, because he can reach them levels, and he can be that good. He can be that sort of player for us. Whereas Højbjerg, You know, he's a player that has to play in Bissouma's position. He can't play in that number 8 or the other attacking role. He just ain't good enough. Lo Celso, I've no faith in him. I'll have to wait 4 years for him to score 2 goals. Look, let's wait and see what he does today. But the lineups are out in 2 minutes' time, which Jacob is going to be the man to sort of take you through with them and stuff like that. But look, I'm just going to hand it over to you, Jacob. The lineup's out in 2 minutes, so I don't know where you want to take this, what questions you want to ask. So I'll leave it to you guys. I'm going to bow. I have my own watch along to do in a little while. So Ash, great to see you. Dermo, great to speak to you again. Amir, great to see you as well, my man. And Jacob, great to see you as well. Have a good show. As always, come on, you Spurs. And hopefully today's the start of a redemption arc. See you all later.
Take it easy,
Come on, you
David.
Spurs. Big up, Dave.
Big up, Dave.
Big up,
Yeah,
Dave.
big up, David, every single time. Make sure you are subscribed to the Irish Hotspur. Look, keep getting your comments in. The lineups will be out in just a couple of minutes. Dermot, I'm going to start with you. Since we're going around the horn here, I'm not saying to put on your tinfoil hat. And Dave did say, I don't know what direction you're going in, but guess what? Jacob's at the wheel. So here we go. Just ride in the car with me. Videos would suggest, per Tottenham Hotspur's official Twitter, would suggest that Son is in fact fit to play, because I'm looking through it and I'm digging. I'm looking for anything positive for today as far as Son and his availability. I think he's going to start today. I don't know. I see him out there. I know, you know, the whole squad arrives as one, but I think Giovanni Lo Celso is going to start as well. Something's telling me he's going to start regardless of how I feel about it. I think Son starts. Dermot, Son starting, Son not starting. What is the impact of that?
Look, Son starting is a big boost for us. Son not starting, then we're struggling. But I wouldn't play him if it isn't 100% fit. There's no point, because if you play Son not 100% fit, you've got to risk him in either doing the injury more and him being out for longer. We've got enough injuries as it is. So you got to play Son with kid gloves. Even put him on the bench and bring him on if he's not fully fit. But look, it's a big loss if he doesn't play today. A massive loss. We do need his leadership. We need him up there for getting the goals for us. But as I said,
Here we
he's
go.
not 100% fit.
He is starting.
Playing. He is.
He's
Wow.
there. There it is.
Wow.
He is starting. Richarlison is starting. Johnson is starting. So I think Richarlison's on the left wing, Son through the middle, Johnson on the right, Kulusevski, Sarr, and Bissouma. Dave asked me, and I spoke it into existence. Love to see that as far as the midfield. Udogie, Davies, Romero, Christian Romero. I'm so glad to see that name back on the sheet. I think that's going to be Amir, let me ask you, what are your initial thoughts? You see this, you feel relieved, you feel a little bit more confident going into the match? How are you seeing?
Well, I tell you what, Jacob, you know, with Kulu coming back into the middle and Johnson being in his preferred position there on the right, and Richie coming back in, I think there's a lot more of a goal threat now in that team. You know, although we know Richie, you know, he hasn't really been at the races, you know, since he's come to Spurs. He is a threat from any corners, any free kicks coming in. He's good in the air. He just needs to bury one of these chances and you know, get his confidence going. So I'm really liking the look of that team.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, Romero coming back, that's a huge boost for his second performance since the suspension. And Pape Matar Sarr as well. I think his legs there in the middle are going to be key for us. You know, Newcastle, they're bringing in a lot of youth there with all their injuries, all the players that are out. So I think that engine there, that Bissouma Sarr combination is going to be key for us in the middle to win that midfield battle.
Yeah, I agree with you, Amir. I think Sarr's feet could actually be the difference that we see as far as allowing so many open opportunities. I mean, I remember versus Aston Villa, there was in the first 60 seconds they could have gone down and scored. And I think Pape Matar Sarr is a guy who stands in, gets stuck in there, and will really win that ball back for us. Since Ash has gone off camera, Dermot, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you.
Yeah.
Richarlison on the left wing. Do you feel like this attack, we've brought some physical presence, we've brought some technique and some finishing? Do you think that this front three could get something? What's your initial thoughts on the lineup as well?
I'm really happy with the lineup. Bissouma and Sarr in the middle, again, brilliant. Kulu there as well, playing in the 10 row, which I think is his best position now. And I think
I do enjoy him there. That's why I've been saying, Dermot, for the past couple of weeks. Kulusevski, I'm so done with him as a winger. I love him in the middle because he can be so creative. And I think when it comes to like Lo Celso or Kulusevski, Dermot, what do you think? I think Kulusevski 100% of the time.
Kulu's your backup for Madison. There's your ready-made backup. You don't have to buy one.
Go get it. Yeah, I love that.
You got it in Kulu.
I love that.
Richarlison, he played on the wing for Everton. I think that's his best position. Actually, out in the wing. I think he loves cutting in, and he loves cutting in. He's always there. He should have scored against West Ham. We can all agree he should have scored. I don't think he's going to be your striker, but he links up well with Sonny Johnson. Johnson for me is a great signing. He just needs a bit more build up and a bit more game time. And I think you're going to see the best out of him. As you said, Jacob, against Man City, he was up and down that wing like a headless chicken. He was gone. And he made up, I think, one of the goals as well for Man City. So, look, I think it's an exciting lineup. I think it's a positive lineup. Romero back, brilliant. The only one that worries me is Ben Davies, but there's not a lot we can do about that until we get out to.
Yeah, I think we're stuck with Ben Davies.
We're stuck with Ben Davies. We've got Porro and Destiny on banging up the wings, helping. We've got Johnson, Richarlison there as well. Sonny in the middle. Bissouma and Sarr. The midfield maestros are back again. It's a very great lineup. And it proves we are a good side. We are a very good side. Once we start getting our players back, we could be a match for anyone. It's about taking our chances. And you look at the substitutes bench as well. We've got Dorrington on there, Donnelly. We've got Hill, Velez, Lo Celso, Højbjerg, Skip. Players to come on. If we need them to do a job, they can come on and do a job.
Not two goalkeepers, Dermot.
No.
The bench finally does not have two goalkeepers. Because I was wondering, is that a technique? Are we going to put Vicario in at center half just because we saw how well he can sweep up back there and put Forster in? I don't know. Maybe that was a last-ditch option. But Dorrington and Royale, at least we have two defensive options. Skip and Højbjerg, Lo Celso, the midfield options. Jamie Donnelly can come in. Brian Hill is on the bench, and Alejo Veliz, you're right. So, look, I've been seeing a lot of people. Gio's on the bench. People are upset. I'm not happy about Gio on the bench and Richie on. But I think the collateral effect of if we put Lo Celso's not a left winger. He doesn't play left wing for Argentina. I think that's a misconception. When he plays for Argentina, he has the overlapping run of Tagliafico every single time. So that he's not going to have that because Udogi's going to run in centrally. So Udogi's not going to make that outside run. So I just think that putting him in that position, you're not going to get the best out of him. I like to see the fact that, hey, now we need to switch things up. If Richarlison's not doing well, then guess what? We could just shift everything around. I guess push Kulusevski into the wing. As much as I don't like it, bring on Giovanni Lo Celso. But honestly, I think this is probably the strongest midfield. Ash, let me ask you, the initial thoughts on the lineup. Are you concerned? Obviously, Davies is a big concern, but we're kind of stuck there. So we knew that was going to happen. But as far as the midfield and attack, a little bit of a difference this week.
I'm glad for Lo Celso, I can't lie. I think he's been one of our most creative players. I'll be real. I'll be honestly, I can't believe it. I can't believe he's been dropped. I can't believe it. I can't believe
I
can.
I don't think he was that good versus West Ham. I thought he was okay, but
when we took him off against West Ham, I was like, what are we doing? Against Aston Villa, him and Bentancur, for me, those two, the way they were playing, I don't know. Before I get the anger at Lo Celso. He hadn't been here. He's been here for over 2 years. He's not showing up. He's been on loan. He's been injured. He's not been available. But this is just me personally from what I'm watching. I don't like to be biased, but just from what I saw from Lo Celso, when he was asked to play under Ange, I can only talk about the Ange era. For me, he was playing those type of balls that we needed from deep as well, and sometimes higher up. He never played as a 10, but he was our most creative player. If I'm him, I'm leaving. I'll be real. I'm gonna leave. I understand Kulu in the middle, and it worked. It did work, and I do understand you need Sarr for the legs, the engine, but it's just wow. Richarlison on the left, and I get it. Everton, he did do that. So but I'm just not. I'm not crazy about Richarlison. I'm just not crazy about Richarlison. Even against West Ham, Kulu was drifting off into the middle at times. If you saw that first minute, Kulu's chance, Son puts it into Kulu, and he just misses it. It just goes past the post. That was in the first minute, and that was Kulu drifting off as the 9, because sometimes he does the false 9. He never just stays right. He kind of drifts sometimes.
Yeah.
So naturally,
Ash,
fluid. Go on.
I want to ask you, because you brought up that you think he's been our most creative player. What did he create that second half versus West Ham? And I think when we look at why he was substituted, he wasn't running, he wasn't tracking back, he wasn't getting stuck in. You have to do the work if you're going to play on the bench. You can do all the forward progressive passing you want, but if you ain't tracking your man back, you ain't getting stuck in, now you're a liability. And I think that's where it lies. Kulusevski, even as a 10, the box-to-box 8, whatever the role may be today, I think he will track back and get stuck in for however long he's out there. That's why Oliver Skip came in for Lo Celso. And I understand the uproar when fans were upset. They said, oh, you're taking out our most creative player up to that point. I thought he was falling off. I thought he was looking not that creative, and he was looking a little leggy.
You know what? It's just, I could be wrong. I could be seeing it different. I thought he was winning balls.
You're not alone. You're not alone. The chat, as far as I can see, everyone's agreeing.
I saw that South American bite. That was one thing I was looking for. I was looking like, does he win the ball back in midfield though? And he was. He was winning it high up the pitch. High up the pitch. It's not like, I get what you're saying. Like, you want your midfielders to win the ball maybe deeper and then kind of distribute. But like his first thought is, can I play? He's not the assister. He's the guy that made the pass before the assist, the key passer. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So the reason why
the hockey assist, as I like to call it.
There's a reason why at Aston Villa he did not misplace a pass. He had 40 completed passes. West Ham, he played 66 minutes. I think he misplaced about 2 or 3 passes, but he just looked so comfortable and so cultured on the ball. Technically, he's just like someone you just want on the ball. And he always looks available. He's one of those players that I like Sarr, but like in terms of like on the ball, technically, like in terms of forward passing, he offers something a little bit different to Sarr. Sarr, again, up and down, bombing up and down, can play that double pivot at times, can play in that full back when, I don't know, Porro inverts. Then
so let me ask you this, Ash.
Tactically, it makes sense. I'm not mad. Like tactically, it's just that whole Richarlison. I'm just thinking, raw. You know what? Yeah.
Can I just add to that, Ash? Sorry, Lo Celso for me for the past 4 years has never done enough, and just because he's had 2 good games, everyone thinks, oh, he's the answer. For me, he still has a lot to prove. He may have got them 2 goals, and he's come back. Yeah, great. But he's still got a lot to prove to me. And I feel if Ange wants to make a change, I think Ange has picked the right midfield today. I think Kulu could do more in the middle, but in the 10 than Lo Celso can. And
look at the bare facts of it too. Sorry, Dermot. I was just going to say, look at the facts of it too. When he started in there, have we won any of those games? Have we won any of the games where Giovanni Lo Celso has started? So the chat, y'all can get upset with me talking on my talk, but have we won the game with Giovanni Lo Celso as the starter? No, we have not.
I haven't. No.
You know what? The first half,
bro, you have to change things. We can't just keep putting out the same starting 11 and hoping that, oh, this time is gonna work. We were unclinical, we didn't finish our chances, and we were creative. But this, I'm thinking, can actually help us on the counter. Like Dave was saying, I think that this lineup lends itself to a change that we might actually get a different result. Giovanni Lo Celso, by all stretches, I agree with Dermot. 2 to 3 good games doesn't erase 2 to 3 years of draws. But I did enjoy what I was seeing. Let me say this as well. When Giovanni Lo Celso got subbed off, they all said, oh, well, who else are we going to bring on? Who is creative on the bench that we could bring? Alejo Valise, Jamie Donnelly, that's a gamble. But we don't have any surefire creative people off the bench. Now, if y'all are telling me that Giovanni is creative, now we at least got a creative player to bring up off the bench in the 60th, 70th minute to change the game when we need it. So I feel like, to me, this is a win-win situation Ange Postecoglou put us in.
I'm not mad at it, and I agree with some of your points. But my thing is, when I watched Villa, I thought that was some of the best football we've played this season. Against West Ham, that first half, I thought we were all over them. And Lo Celso was a big reason for that. I think like when in terms of being front-footed, having the ball and like keeping the ball as well, because sometimes we might lose balls because misplaced passes, we're rushing it too much, not enough quality on the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? Just that little meh. But like I get what you're saying. The last few years, I'm just talking about the Ange era, and like Dermot said it already, he scored goals. I just thought it was a bit harsh to drop a player like him. But I do get it against Newcastle. I'm not mad at it because tactically, you need legs, you need a bit of physicality against your not Almiron, but Ramirez. What's the Brazilian striker they've got? But he
Joe
plays
Linton.
Joe Linton. So I get it. He
Haven't they
needs
kind of been putting him as like a right midfielder
a game like
or
this,
left midfielder rather?
yeah,
Joe
left
Linton?
midfield. Yeah, Joe
Yeah,
Linton.
they kind of been letting him
So
drop deeper
in a
there.
game like this, you kind of need the SARS and you need the physicality and you need legs up and down. So I'm not mad at Ange, but I'm just thinking like in terms of being front-footed and quality and this having that technical ability, I thought we played some of the best football against Aston Villa, West Ham. Sorry, Amir, you're gonna say something.
No. The thing is, I'm with you, Ash. I'm with you, Ash, in the sense that I think it's a bit harsh on Lo Celso, right? Because I do think, like you're saying, he's been playing well. He's been getting the goals. He's been running the show against Villa. He really did run the show. If we put away our dinner, everyone would be, singing his praises if we got the win there against Villa. So I do think it is a bit harsh. But to be honest, I think there's more to this, guys. He's been tapped up. We all know that Xavi wants him out in Barcelona. I think his style of play could be way more suited to a La Liga instead of a Prem. A bit slower pace, more technical. I just think there's more to this decision than what we're actually seeing, and he could be on his way in the January window.
He's gone.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me, to be honest with you, lads. And I'm not too frustrated by it because, like the guys up there have said, Jacob and Dermatron, at the end of the day, right, he's been with us for 3-4 years now, and we haven't seen the best of him. He's always shone for Argentina, and he's played well over there. When he's linking up with the likes of Messi and those guys, but in a Spurs shirt, have we seen enough from the guy in 3-4 years? I would say no. And I just think that it's the right decision to drop him to the bench today, have more legs there in the midfield, have Sarr, absolutely running things from box to box. And then if we do need, a bit more of creativity, worst comes to worst, 70th minute, we can stick him on there and see what he can do. But
you
to
never
be honest
know.
with you, you never know. You never know. But I'm just hoping that with this lineup, Jacob, that we can kill the game off by half time. Do what we haven't been doing. Get the first goal, not just the first, get the second goal before half time. We should be putting these teams to bed. And look, we haven't had a look at the Newcastle lineup, but I was having a look at the injury.
I have it right here. I'll pull it up for you.
Jacob, they've got more injuries than us. That half their bloody squad is out. So we really should be.
They are starting a 19-year-old Lewis Miley. No, he's not related to Miley Cyrus, if you were wondering. I'll go ahead and read out their starting 11 for you, Amir. They've got Dubravka in goal, Kieran Trippier as their right back, Jamal Lascelles and Fabian Schär as their central halves, and Livramento. I think he's been a quality left back for them, actually. Livramento, nice little but didn't he?
Those centre backs are slow though. Those centre backs are slow up against Sonny,
They're big and physical, and they're slow. No Sven Botman. We should be able to. He was part of the problem, I think. Look, he was part of the reason why they were so good last year, in my opinion. Bruno Guimaraes. I don't know how you say his name. Joe Linton, Lewis Miley in the midfield. Alexander Isak heading up the attack with Miguel Almiron on the right and Anthony Gordon on the left. Dermot, do you think Anthony Gordon? This is a young player we were linked with a little bit. Do you think that this is a guy who could see some joy in behind Pedro Porro really having a go at Christian Romero? Me personally, I'll just share my thoughts. We've got Kuti. Can't you see? Don't you worry about Kuti, all right? I think he's going to take care of the young man, and he's going to have a very frustrating day, and he's going to have that look on his face that we've seen quite a bit, which is the look of fear and disgust. So that's my prediction. What about you? What do you think Anthony Gordon's going to do today?
I think Gordon's going to be Romero'd. I mean, you've got back in there. People can remember back in the day the old "You've Been Tango" advert. I always say when Romero tackles somebody, you've been Romero'd. Romero's going to take care of him. Look, I don't think that's. Look, I think that's a very beatable Newcastle side. I just think we've got. if you look at the two sides
Absolutely.
put together, we've got more about us at our 11 to their 11. They've got an untried goalkeeper as well. He's going to be only starting, I think, his first or second game in the Premier League for Newcastle. We need to test him. We need to keep shot. Since we get a shot on him. See what he is for corners. See what he is on shot stopping. We need to pepper the goal.
Yeah, this will be his second start in his third game this season in the
his
Premier
third
League.
game this season. So he hasn't played regularly. So we've got to test that. And if he finds that he's the weak link, we've got to jump on that opportunity. But I think we've got a far stronger 11 than Newcastle. I think Newcastle are very beatable today. And they're also going to have one eye on AC Milan on Wednesday as well. Are they going to take that into consideration? They've got to do
it's a must win, I think it is.
It is a must win against them. So, are they going to think, do you know what? Do we want to be in the Champions League after Christmas? I think so. So I think there's going to be one eye on that. We've got a team to beat them today and beat them well. We've got to go out there and prove we can. And Jacob, sorry, I've got to jump off as well because I've got my own watch along to put together. But thank you for having me on. I love coming. This is my second time on here, and I love coming on these. So thank you very much.
Have a great rest of your day. We are going to be going for about 12 more minutes, y'all. So stick around. Bye, Dermot. Thank you for joining us this morning.
No problem.
Well, this morning for me. Ash.
Yo.
Talk to me.
So, yeah, basically, I'm talking to my mate. He's a Newcastle fan.
Yeah. What's he saying? What's the temperature?
He reckons that he will lose today. Away
of course
from
he reckons that, of course.
I don't know. He's a massive Newcastle fan. I'm speaking to a couple of them, and they reckon because, like Dermot just said, the AC Milan's a huge factor. I think he said they're tired. He said the same 11. They played the same 11 for 5 games straight in a small period, and Newcastle, their wheels are starting to fall off. So, at Newcastle, they're all about the legs. They're all about the pressing. They're all about the energy, but it takes a toll on you after a while. So it's going to be difficult. And he reckons that the way we press and the way we come at teams, Newcastle won't be able to live with that. That's his words. So I can only go on what a Newcastle fan is saying. So
I hope he's right, Ash. I hope he's right.
I said, depending on Son's fitness, I said if Son's fit, I know he's picked up a knock, but if Son carries on the pressing the way he does, because he kind of leads the press, and then he's not far behind with Johnson, not too far behind either, then we can actually cause him trouble. And also, I like the way Bissouma was pressing in that game against West Ham. I thought he pressed quite well. So if Sarr, Bissouma, our front three, they're all pressing high, and we're trying to win that ball off them, we could cause them a lot of trouble. I wonder if they're going to kind of try to stink it out and really sit behind the ball like West Ham did, or if they're going to come at us a little bit more and be a bit more expansive. I saw how they played against Arsenal, and that was at their ground. They kind of tried to stink it out a little, but I wonder if they're going to, have that same approach and try to save legs for that Wednesday. It's the same team, 5 games in a row. Like, it's crazy. We need to take advantage of their fatigue, their mental awareness, or their mental tiredness as well. So hopefully we could take advantage of that.
Yeah. Real quick, I do want to say big up to Chang Chen Seong, my good friend over there on Twitter, big supporter here of the channel WeAreTottenhamTV, says, to Jacob, man of the match incoming from your Xmas present. Don't know what that Xmas present is, but looking forward to it, my friend. Thank you so much. Always spoiling me. Sends me a lot of great gifts in the mail. So thank you so much, Chang, for supporting Tottenham Hotspur and for supporting myself. J. Co says, starting lineups, please. I did have them up for quite a bit, but I didn't want to show that super chat and cover Ash Maddox's beautiful face. So there you go. I'll go ahead and put it back up for you, J. Co. There's the starting lineup again. Look, for me, I'm looking at this. I feel pretty confident. I'm looking at Newcastle's lineup. I'm feeling pretty confident. I think a lot of fans this past couple of days, maybe the weeks leading up to, are thinking, oh, this Newcastle fixture is going to be one I'm really concerned about. But, for me, I don't quite feel that way. Look, we do have less than 10 minutes here. And since it is, United Spurs of America takeover, this is what I like to do here in the chat. So Rightus has already beat you to the punch. I want everybody to get your score predictions in. I'm going to ask the panel. So while you do that, I will thank you, Spencer. Appreciate that comment. But like Rightus, get your score predictions in. I will go through them as I ask the panel their score predictions. All right. So that is something I like to do. It is a little bit different. You know, you may not be used to that here on Tottenham TV, but that's okay. Look at Mick Dundee already got his in. Everton 2. Oh, that's not our score prediction. Give me the Spurs score prediction. But big up Everton, Pochettino, Agent Poch. Good job over there helping us out with Chelsea. Amir, I'm going to start with you. I want to know who is going to score for Tottenham, what the final score is, and how we got there.
Well, this is the thing, right? I'm not gonna go crazy like I did against West Ham with a 5-1 victory. I'm gonna keep it humble, and I'm gonna say we're gonna get beaten 3-1. I think Sonny's obviously gonna get one. Sonny's obviously gonna get one. I'm backing Johnson. I'm backing my man Brennan to get on the score sheet today, get one, and hopefully Kulu from that 10. I want to see him shooting from outside the box, you know, taking his opportunities, and I think he'll get on the score sheet as well. So those three, you know, will get us the goals, and I'm just hoping for a nice victory for us, something to celebrate, and get the wheels turning again, get the machine moving again in the right direction. You know, that's really what we need. That's what we need.
So you're saying 3-1. You got Son, you got Johnson, and who else?
Kulu as well.
Kulusevski through the middle.
Through the middle. That's because that's his best position, Jacob. You know, he's not your out and out winger. He doesn't have that, you know, blistering pace, but he does so well on the ball. He manages to push anyone off, bully anyone off the ball, and you know, he's got a decent shot on him when he's lining them up well. So I'm thinking he will get a little one from outside the box for us today.
Ooh, I need a sunny goal from outside the box as well. I've needed that for quite some time, and you know, I think there was something Brennan Johnson to be said about him. He was taking those shots while they were whimper shots at best, while they were easy basket grabbers, as a keeper like to call them, those ones that they just shoot right to you. You just say, "Thank you very much," pad them stats up, make me look nice. I think I saw moments where he's actually just throwing caution to the wind and saying, I'm gonna try and score. And I think sometimes we got to do that. We're not as decisive in the final third as I would like to see. Sometimes we're just work it left, work it right, and teams are happy to sit back and just watch us pass it left to right with no real intricate, you know, incising runs or passes or anything. But look, I need some goals. I need some people to take some shots. Ash, what are we saying? Amir's got 3-1. Tottenham looking good. You got a little cheeky 2-1. Is that for us to win? I know it is. Come on. Talk to me,
Ash. I think it may be frustrating at times because that tradition, or I shouldn't call it tradition, but I think that trajectory will carry on where the team sitting behind the ball will frustrate us at times, and we will pass it from left to right. We won't find a way in because we just sometimes it's a little bit slow and lethargic in that final third. And we want that perfect goal at times. But I do expect us to find a way in, and it will be between Sonny and Kulu getting on the score sheet. Maybe a cheeky Brennan, but I think Sonny and Kulu will come up with the goods. I think we play a lot better when we're at home. I think the crowd behind us, the energy, the atmosphere, I think we've got a point to prove to be more decisive. So I'm expecting a lot more attempts to come in from different ways, different angles, because of how we played against West Ham. And I think the players will be so angry at themselves that they let that slip away. And by the looks of it, Fulham absolutely destroyed West Ham and have shown us how it's done. So I don't think the players are going to like that too much. Yeah, I do expect us to find a way. And Ange has the answers. I do think that is the right team, despite what I've said. I just thought it was a bit harsh on Gio, but I do think that is the right team to kind of work them. You've got a lot of legs, a lot of physicality, a lot of speed, a lot of power, and it's just down to the front players to do the job. Son, lately, I've seen them dropping in that hole. So I'm hoping when Son drops in that hole, Kulu runs in behind and he's able to ask different questions of that back four. The goalkeeper needs to be tested. It's not their number one. It's a reject keeper they've got there. So I just want us, and even if they don't find it in that first half, and even if we do go 1-0 up, we all know the game's not over yet. We need to put more than one goal in front of them. So
Please. We need 2 before half time at least.
listen,
At least, Ash.
we
Yeah,
don't want to
did
break
you
that
see
record.
Conrad's? Did you see Conrad's prediction? Has Conrad big up? Conrad says 3-1 to the Spurs.
Come on.
First 2 Spurs goals in the first half. I would absolutely love to see that,
I'll buy
Conrad.
your hand off Conrad for those 2 goals in the first half.
Keep your hands away from Amir and all the rest of us, because we'll take
Rich,
it.
listen, Richie needs to do something. Like, I don't know. If he doesn't score this game, he needs to be sold immediately.
I've always said Richarlison is either A, the most unlucky player in the history of Tottenham Hotspur, or B, he just isn't good enough.
I feel
the more time goes on, the more I start to think the latter as well.
Evidence. Yeah, more evidence is built up against him.
That's what I'm saying. More evidence has been brought to light. The case has gotten reopened here. Richarlison, please score a goal, man. Don't just put him on target is all I'm asking. Don't send him over the bar. Don't send him far left or right. Just beat the keeper. Hit him on target. I saw another prediction in the chat. Ash said says Richarlison 2, but not 2 goals, 2 big missed chances. So we might see that. We might. But for me, y'all, I'm gonna keep my prediction consistent with what my prediction was over on my channel right here, United Spurs of America, if you fancy it. I said, I think we're gonna win. And we're gonna win by at least, I'm saying 2 goals. I feel 2-goal win. I said either it's gonna be a 2-0, a 3-1, or 4-2. That's what I think. And I think it will be a matter of we start out strong like we always do in the first 15 minutes. We're going to put a lot of shots on. And I'm expecting us to be more clinical. And the reason why I don't think we'll concede as many goals as normal is because with Christian Romero, Bissouma with Sarr, I think Sarr alongside Bissouma, we see the best out of both of them. And Bissouma's been missing his boy. So get them back. And you know what? I think we might be able to see some joy. But y'all, I'm a real quick just say it's been such a pleasure to do this show. Do you have any final thoughts for me, Amir, before we head into not the sun? I mean, the sun's already setting. I'm sure. What time is it out there? No, it's not set. You still got some sunlight out there in the UK, so the sun hasn't set on us. But where are you here at the end of the show? Do you have any final thoughts for us as far as the matchup goes?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm liking the fact that you're hedging your bets there with the 2-0, 3-1, 4-2. I'm liking that strategy, Jacob.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shotgun approach. You know, if I say A, B, C, and D, gives them a higher likelihood of being right. So then I can say, hey, look back. I did predict one of those.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I'm really
you noticed.
that.
Oh, you saw the game. Yeah,
I'm liking that game. Yeah, for sure. I'm loving that. And to be honest, I'm loving the team today, and I can see us having the legs there in the middle to get the job done, to dominate them. And I'm just hoping that in this short time between the 2 games that we've done a lot of shooting drills and just made sure that, you know, our front players all have their shooting boots on today and that we are clinical and we get those 2 goals in the first half. And I can see it happening, to be honest with you. I can see it happening.
Absolutely. Big up, man. Thank you so much. It's great to share the screen with you, Amir. I think for the first time, us here on WeAreTottenhamTV. So thank you.
Pleasure,
very much enjoyed that. Ash, you got any final thoughts for us tonight before we do say goodbye and hello to Tottenham Hotspur hitting the pitch?
We need to click. That's what I'm saying, bro. I need, you know, there was like Jazz Cafe like that. That's what I need. I need us to click.
Yes.
If we click, we're a problem for any team. And it's a massive if. I don't know if it's going to be this season or we're going to have to wait to after January to get that player. I don't know what it is that we're missing, but we just need that. We need to just pound a team and just carry on pounding. I'm going to keep using that analogy. Pounding. I'm in that mood today. But we just need to finish our dinner. As simple as that. If we can finish our dinner and keep our bellies full, then yeah, this is going to be really good because the performance is there to see. The way we're playing, the style of play, I can't be mad at it. I can't lie. I can't be mad. But it's clear as day. It's not enough for the fans. It's not enough for Ange. Playing good's not enough. We actually need to start turning them to W's. And that's what I got to say.
Yep.
W home, man. I can't see this playing well or not getting the result. It's so frustrating. So let's just
100%.
show some conviction and just walk out with our chest high. And I need those fullbacks to turn up as well because they're getting into great positions. But I need to see them have end product as well.
You know, you just reminded me. I actually didn't give you my goal scores, and it's funny you mentioned that because of the way in the areas in which Destiny Udogie has been popping up into attacking areas. I've actually had him scoring one of my goals today. I have Son on the score sheet, and then hey, did you see that little pop up, little thumb? Hey, I didn't even mean to do that. I don't even mean to do it. I don't even mean to do it. It just happens. I don't know what the Apple product's doing to me now lately, but look, I do think Son's going to score. I got Brennan Johnson scoring, and then possibly Destiny Udogie opening up his campaign. So
Come
I
on,
would
you
love to.
doggy. Come on, you dogs.
Come on, you Udogie. Come on, you
on.
Spurs. Look, y'all. My final thoughts for today is going to be just love everybody that you come in contact to. It costs nothing to be a good person and a good human being. So first and foremost, spread love and positivity, and then secondly, up the lads. Come on, you Spurs, and let's not spread love and positivity for 90 minutes on that pitch. That's what I want to. I just want to see us show some conviction, and I think if we do that, we will get the result. Ash, I agree with you. If this is 6 matches without a win, it is unacceptable. But we move, and it's part of the growing pains. But I agree with you. Long overdue that green W. I need some green W's in my life. Let me get one today. Hey, I see one down there. I'll give you one right here. Come on. I hope we get them W's. And I hope everybody who is tuned in, I hope your life, you continue to get W's as well. And today by backing the lads. So look, y'all, that is going to do it for the pre-match pump up here on We Are Tottenham TV. Stick around on the channel for the watch along starting very, very soon. And make sure before you leave or anything, go get your water. Make sure you hit a like on the video. It's absolutely free, costs nothing, and it supports the channel in a major, major way. So go ahead and do that. And again, thank you to Chang for the lone and solo super chat this morning. Do appreciate you, my friend. And look, y'all, up the lads, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
Spurs.